Okay, I just want to be so respectful of everybody's time because I know some are an actual lunch hour, some are different time zones and have other appointments. And as people come in, as always, we record this. Give me about 24 hours. I put it on YouTube. However you learned about it is where you'll find the YouTube link. It's welcome. So everyone always asks me, is it okay if they pass this along to other units, other power partners, other sister consultants? Yes, this is literally for every person from consultant to national and every Mary Kay division. This thing is kind of taken off like wildfire and it's everywhere. So if you're new to our group today, I just want to invite you. It's most Thursdays, unless a holiday or leadership or something like that. But we do this as a way of just inspiration, camaraderie, women fellowship and men fellowship, and just a way to come together. I think more brains are better than one, with the ideas. And sometimes we hear a little spin on something, and we have the amazing, by request, Miss Ashley Dornbos. And I haven't had the privilege of meeting you yet, my friend, but I've heard incredible things, and I'm excited for what you have to share. And from what I've heard about you is your Mary Kay heart. And I love the referrals. When you all have someone, you're like, Jenny, because I don't know everybody in other divisions, right? And like, you got to have this gal speak. Please send them my way. I love hearing from everybody because sometimes it can be the same idea, but a little spin on it, and it just changes the world for so many of us. And here's the deal. We're all in it together, right? We want to make this a better place. And so without further ado, Ashley, I want you to share a little bit about you. I'm so honored and privileged to have you on here. And thank you, because this is truly just a go give thing of your time and energy, especially right by the holiday. And I just appreciate you being willing to give back to the Mary Kay community. So thank you, my friend. And I'm going to let you take over.
Awesome. Thank you, Jennifer. And you're so amazing. Whenever you asked me to speak, I was like, are you sure? Are you sure you want me to speak?
Yes.
So it's just such an honor to be here. And truly, thank you for allowing me to speak to everybody. You guys, I don't take that lightly. So truly, thank you, Jennifer. Thank you. Thank you so much. And absolutely before the holiday, I think that this is the perfect time to get rejuvenated, to refine what it is that we want to do for the new year. So my name's Ashley Dornbos. I've been building my business for 5 years, almost in May, it'll be 5 years. And I was really thinking about what I wanted to share with everybody, something that would create a quantum leap between now and the new year. And truly, it might be something that you guys have heard before, but it was something that I've heard before. But whenever I came ready and positioned and my heart was open to receive it, I took it a lot different. So hopefully there's something today that you guys take that's completely new, opening up a new compartment in your brain where you're like, aha, that's why. I'm going to try to give you guys a secret formula that I found. It was less than a month ago. So I attended a national sales director event, and it completely changed my life. And if you guys don't already have the book called The Breakthrough Code, I highly, highly recommend it. Tim, gosh, I should have written it, but Tim something, I think it's Tim McCarthy, The Breakthrough Code. And it absolutely changed my life. And coming into this, I wanted to think of something that I could give you guys where you're like, this is something I could use to actually implement. And the idea is sometimes we think that we have to work so much harder to maintain or get the results that we want, physically work harder, right? Book more parties, see more people, but really sometimes it's just the 6 inches between our ears and what we're telling ourselves. So with that being said, we're going to talk about how to get results. Tom McCarthy, thank you, Jennifer. You're amazing. So first, I want to ask you guys, what are you telling yourself daily? And this isn't just ideas or things that you want to accomplish, but truly, what are you saying out loud daily to yourself? Because it does matter. Manifesting what we want in the world, we have to be able to put it out there in order to get it back. So sometimes we're just writing our affirmations, where I think physically, verbally saying them is something that's going to truly impact you. So before Mary Kay, I was in psychology. So I was a therapist for kids with autism. So the psychology, the how, the why is truly what motivates me because I understand it. I'm a why type girl. Somebody's like, you should do that. I'm like, why? like what's the benefit or the reason behind it so that I can go ahead and do it. So first asking yourself, what are you telling yourself daily that you want to accomplish in your business? So creating a 3-part mantra that you repeat to yourself in the morning, before you go to sleep at night, and anytime that you have a negative thought. And this takes work. This was whenever I came back from our event, I was like, wow, I didn't realize how many times a day that I'm telling myself something negative. And it's because I never addressed it or I never looked at it. So I whenever I came home and I noticed, I was like, oh my gosh, it's like when your phone dies. You guys know what I'm talking about. Whenever your phone dies or your phone breaks, you never realize how many times you go to grab your phone until it's like not there and you can't use it. It's the same exact concept. So what are you telling yourself daily? And second, creating a 3-part mantra to replace those negative thoughts. So first in the morning, whenever you wake up, before you go to bed at night, and any time that you have a negative thought. Second is, are you putting in the work that's required to gain the results that you're looking for? So like I said, I went to that life-changing national event, absolutely amazing and exactly what I needed in the perfect time. Like I told you guys earlier, sometimes you have to be ready to receive the things. And I've heard this a million times before about having positive affirmation, but I never actually took it seriously because I was one of those people where I thought if you put in more work, you'll get more results. I was willing to go out and work, but I wasn't willing to put in the work up here. So before that event, I was holding 2 to 3, maybe even 3 to 4 parties weekly. Okay. So I was getting average results, very average income, very average, consistent across the board, right? I can predict what that's going to be, but I kept asking myself, why am I not getting those breakthrough results? I want a breakthrough result where I'm meeting the things I've never had before. So coming back from that event, it wasn't that my work changed, it was that my mindset changed. And the challenge that we have, just so that you guys know, in the book, they talk about this, your subconscious mind, because there's a difference between your conscious mind and your subconscious mind, right? Your conscious mind knows exactly who you are, knows my position, my title, who I am, what I live for. They know if you're saying the right or the wrong thing, right? So if I speak into the world, I am a national sales director, my subconscious mind or my conscious mind knows that it's not true, right? Your subconscious mind, what happens whenever you sleep, whenever you dream, all that, that's your subconscious mind. It doesn't know the difference between what you're physically telling yourself and the truth. So your conscious mind knows, your subconscious mind doesn't. So my subconscious mind was a compartment of my life who I had untapped potential in because I never used it. I wasn't doing positive affirmations and I was not filling my brain with positive things and catching myself thinking negative. So from that event to now, my life has completely changed for the better. And the challenge that we have is that most of our life, you guys, approximately 95% of it is led by our subconscious mind, in which creates our habits. Okay, because habits are who we are, what our genetic makeup is, our fingerprint on our life, we have built over time. So that way, we know that whenever we're talking to ourselves as we're doing the work, it actually really does matter. So our subconscious mind and our habits set limits of what we can complete. So whenever there's a gap between what you want to achieve and your habits will always win. So we kind of have to go backwards, right? It's not necessarily about the work, but it's starting about what we're thinking and the things that are going into our mind. So upgrade your habits, upgrade your thinking, and upgrade your results. So starting to think differently is really a challenge. And I told you guys that it took me time and time, day after day, to be able to recognize whenever bad things or bad thoughts start coming into my head. And I had to analyze what was going on truly, because I had no idea. Daily things that I'll see, like even scrolling on Facebook. I don't know if you guys are like this too, but immediately it's the comparison game. You see somebody doing XYZ and you're like, gosh, why am I not doing that yet? Like, we can't even do that. Whenever I see things like that, I hit like, congratulations, and I keep it moving, because I know that I have to have my blinders on and be so dead set about what I'm doing and not what others are doing, because I need to manifest what's good for me and in my life. So upgrading my habits, updated my thinking, and I had to consistently work on that daily. So this was not something that came easy. And as the moments whenever doubt started to creep in, or we start telling ourselves like we can't do this, or we're not made for the position because it hasn't happened yet, Anybody else ever feel that whenever you're like, I really want to complete something, but I've reset the date numerous times? This is all mindset. So whenever that doubt starts to creep in that we're not made for this, we need to start implementing those spaces where we manifest everything that we want. Okay, so taking those negative thoughts, absolutely replacing it with something different. So like I said, it was an intentional effort. And what I physically did, okay, so it talks about it in this book, that whenever you have a negative thought, physically picture a shredder, okay, like a paper shredder, and that you're putting this thought into the paper shredder, and you have to physically say it or it doesn't count. You have to literally go zoop, like it's literally getting shredded. $1 million sales director at this national event, she was talking about this book, and I was like, I'm not a big reader, you know, I don't really know how it's going to affect me. But whenever she talked about the psychology behind it, I started to grasp onto it. So anytime you have a negative thought, putting that into the shredder, physically making the noise, and then replacing it with your 3-part mantra and whatever that is. But the one thing, isn't just about mindset whenever things are going good, because it's super easy to have a great mindset and to do those things when things are working in your favor, but to really still do those things whenever life isn't happening for you. So adversity is a part of the plan with success. And you've probably heard, seen, experienced that anytime you earn something that's worth working for or worth working hard for, that there's some type of adversity that happens. So we have to know for that goal that we want in our Mary Kay business and in our life, that things are going to happen that upset us. But whenever we expect it, we're less tripped up when it happens. You know what I mean? So going into your goal and knowing that there are going to be things in your life that happen that aren't necessarily something you're excited about, but it makes it sometimes easier whenever you expect it. So the most reliable way to predict our future is to create it. So let's get our head right first. I talked to you guys about the conscious mind and the subconscious mind, but really coming up with that 3-part mantra of something, and maybe you don't even know what that is. Like me personally, my vocabulary, and I've recognized this, it might not be as big as others. So what I had to do is I downloaded the I am, and then it's a daily affirmations app, where I had to find things that really spoke to me. So if you guys can't come up with affirmations on your own, look them up and figure out which one speaks to you. You'll have a list of them, and then there's one that's like really sticking out to you. We're like, I love that. If I repeat that, I feel powerful. I am powerful. And that app is something that is absolutely amazing to use because it wakes you up with notifications. It's great. But what starts to happen whenever you guys are repeating that is it's not just our psyche that starts to understand what you're trying to do. Your body, your nervous system actually also does as well, because what you tell yourself affects your body. And just try it for a week. I promise you're going to think I'm crazy right now, but try it for a week. And literally anytime you have a negative thought, replace that with your 3-part mantra. You'll notice your nervous system, there's a difference. So if you're feeling stressed or upset, it really helps us to get in better alignment to receive the blessings that we want. So little by little, not all at once, but little by little, it really starts to compile and put our body, even our body, into alignment to receive the blessings that we want in our life. So this takes practice and hard work to truly be present. In the book, it talks about too, which I felt like a crazy person. Seriously, ladies, like a crazy person whenever I first started this, because they're like, if you're upset or worked up or something's bugging you, before you do your mantra, stand up, jump up and down, get your body moving to really be able to say your affirmations like you mean it. So if you're like, life is happening for me, money is flowing to me, everything I touch wins, I'm a people magnet, right? You're saying it with your body and it means that you mean it. Where if you're like, life is happening for me, money is flowing to me, I'm a people magnet. Like there's a difference in our body language, and what it starts to do is it makes you stand a little bit taller. What you tell yourself makes you speak a little bit different to other people. For example, one thing that I've noticed as a sales director, if I'm really excited for one of my consultants or one of my friends, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's awesome, you go girl. Like instead, what I'm trying to do is fill my cup so that I can fill others with truly pouring into them how I want to. Do you guys know what I'm saying? Sometimes there's only so much left we have in our cup to be able to give to people, where we truly want to tell them something so much more, but we only have so much left. So making sure that we're filling ourselves daily with great things so that we can abundantly give to others. So we can't just put in all of this positive affirmation, but not do any work, right? So this was the part I was great at. I was great at the work. Nobody ever had to ask me to do anything. I was always the first one to show up, the last one to leave. And I never had any issues with that. And that really started at a very young age. I started working whenever I was 12. So hard work wasn't, I wasn't afraid of it. But what I didn't have is that piece of my mind where I'm telling myself beautiful things. I hear other people say nice things. I hear people say nice things to each other, but I wasn't being kind to my own mind. So how many times a day are we telling ourselves something that we wouldn't tell others? So affirmation and action. Okay, so both coincide in a really beautiful harmony. If you have one, the other lacks. If you have the other one, the other lacks. It doesn't work, but you have to have both. So this is where I truly feel like affirmation meets action, and we have to give God something to bless, right? If we're praying and we're manifesting and we're affirming, that's awesome. But if there isn't something for God to bless, there isn't really a whole lot, right? So everyone's work is different. And I know we have consultants on here, we have sales directors on here. So it's based off of exactly what you want out of the business, and everybody is different, but it requires work as well. And so we get what we work for, not what we wish for. And I know you've probably heard that a million times, but truly putting in the work ethic paired with the affirmation is going to be super successful. And I was listening to a podcast actually by John Maxwell talking about success, and he studied success and what it looks like. And the biggest piece of advice he had was attach yourself to the hip of somebody who is as successful as you want to be. And not just study their success, but study their habits, what their daily routine looks like, what their mantras are, hearing what they say to their self daily. And not just about the success, but the daily habits that go in and day out, and to replicate the work and to set your own standard of what that excellence is, and creating a non-negotiable, right? How many times have we created a non-negotiable, but we're like, whoop, right over past it because we're not getting loud and proud about it? I want all of my unit. I want all of my customers. I want all of my family to know exactly what it is that I'm working on, so that if I were to literally call your customer and I had to be like, hey, what's Lynn's big goal? And they knew it. You know, they knew it because we are so loud and proud. That's what I'm saying. Lynn, I love that. Look at her background, just being so dead set on it and being so sure. I truly want you guys to start getting loud and proud these last 6 months, because we are stepping into a brand new year, which means untapped potential of unlimited opportunity. So replicating the work of the people that you truly want to emulate. And that's the beautiful thing, is you get to pick. It's not one specific person. It doesn't have to be one specific way. That's the beautiful thing behind Mary Kay, is that we have all of this individuality. So I want you guys to think of people in your life that you want to emulate and attach yourself to their hip. And as you create this non-negotiable goal that you want to complete in 6 months, start to obsess over it. Okay, not like the creepy way, don't get like weird, but like start to truly obsess over it and start being loud about what sets your soul on fire. Make sure everybody knows about it, and speak life over it daily, and give yourself consistent wins working towards this goal, where I can't be a national tomorrow. You know what I mean? So I have to make sure I'm setting myself up for success daily, because if we are so focused on the end result, we won't be able to enjoy the middle. And whenever I was at that national event, the $1 Million Sales Director that recommended this book to everybody, she said that she does something so incredibly powerful every day. She sets an alarm on her phone every single hour that asks what you're doing. Is it working? Are you working towards your goals? Or what you're doing right now, is it going to benefit you in XYZ? So I implemented it immediately to see what my true pattern of habit was in my daily life, because I have 2 babies under 2. So if you guys could just pray for me, okay? It's a little bit chaos in the house, but to say, like, every hour, am I working towards something that is going to get me closer to my goal? And be sure that you're packing your day with true, intentional income producing activities. And I know you have probably heard this a million times before, but is what I'm doing right now going to serve my team, going to serve my customers, my bank account, my mental health, like truly like the things in your life that are making you money. So one way that I've narrowed it down, because my life is absolutely wild with my children, is having a 6 most important list for me, Ashley. Okay. So like my mom, wife mode, all the things I have to do for my home, and then a 6 most important list for my business. And so whenever that alarm goes off, I'm making sure that I'm checking at least one thing off on each of those lists, so that I know I'm in alignment with exactly what I want to do. So as a business, this is going to be 60 years. So we can't possibly do the work and not get the results, right? Like it's physically not possible. It's tried and true. It's a business that's been around for absolutely ever. And sometimes the delay doesn't mean that we're not meant for that success. Okay. So for the longest time, I was starting to think, man, can I really be a national sales director? Like, am I supposed to be a national sales director? Am I worthy of being a national sales director? But it's building the time between, it's building me into the person who is worthy to be a national sales director. So delayed gratification isn't something that's favored. Okay, anybody amen? Delayed gratification is not something that's favored, but the reward of instant gratification tends to be short-lived and shallow. The reward of delayed gratification, on the other hand, tends to be long-term, meaningful, and even more amazing. So, no, this entire process is a very unique journey for each beauty consultant and each sales director. And for the longest time, this is something I just released probably about a month ago. For the longest time, I was so worried about being at the end, meeting whatever it is that I wanted to meet, that I was forgetting to enjoy the middle. The middle, oh my gosh, where the best things are made, right? Oreos, like the best part is the middle. Okay. I'm comparing our Mary Kay business to Oreos right now, so just bear with me. But the middle, where truly great things are made, where things go wrong so that we can learn from them, where we get those no-shows. And in the moment, we're like, why is this happening to me? But it's actually happening for me so I can be a better leader. The middle, so I can teach my team members how to deal with their consultant who decides to send back product. The middle, where my car doesn't want to start and I'm stuck at somebody's house and I'm trying to make the best way possible for this outcome, right? Like the crazy, insane, wild middle. So give yourself time to grow and to truly enjoy the middle and evolve into the person that you'll need to be to achieve the results you're looking for. And it doesn't have to take years, but there usually is some lag time between the time that we work and the time that we achieve things. Just like Mary Kay says, right? The work that you're doing now is going to show up in 90 days because it's all a part of the process. So align your actions with intentions and watch your business grow. And each of you were made for greatness, or you wouldn't have been on this call. I know that you had to take time away from your families and away from the things that you were working on to be here today. And so I hope that something truly blessed you, not just saying to go out and work, but to start working up here first. And for me being in the business for 5 years and figuring I just needed to go hold more parties, that wasn't always the case, ladies. It was truly something that changed in me, which then changed with others, because whenever things changed inside me, things changed around me. So trust your next chapter too, because you know who the author is. We already know. So here's to your next 6 months being your best year yet. And I hope that you guys have a very Merry Christmas.
Oh my gosh, that was amazing. Ashley, okay. So tell me that one thing I have to ask is, tell me that app that you said that you have that does.
So it's called I Am. It's like a neutral pink color of the app, and it's called I Am Daily Affirmation.
Okay, I'm gonna write that down because I know people ask that. I want to make sure we have that. I love that. Okay, if anybody, we have a couple minutes. If anybody wants to unmute and ask questions or affirm, Ashley, maybe your takeaway from it. I got so much from that because you're right.
Aww,
it literally is.
Thank you.
That was phenomenal, friend. And I think what everybody needs to hear. And when we have the recording, you all heard, I love when we hear it because I can think of like 10 people right away who need to hear that message. So, oh, I love all the messages. Yes, 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 it was amazing. Anybody have anything they want to share?
Now, Ashley, could you
Yes.
give us an example of the 3-part mantra that you tell yourself in the morning? Did I miss that? And was I writing something
No.
else?
No, so mine's
or
mine's completely different, but so what I say every morning, and you guys are going to think I'm a crazy person, but motherhood, I'm going to be really very vulnerable. It did not come naturally to me. Patience did not come naturally to me. So what I have to tell myself every morning is I'm a great mom. I'm going to have a great day with my kids. I am a national sales director. Life is happening for me and money is flowing to me, and my son Oliver will speak because he has delayed speech right now, so they're thinking it's apraxia of speech. So even putting things of your life into your mantra of what you say in the morning and at night and anytime that you have a negative thought. So those are mine personally. There's a ton of amazing ones on the I Am app, or you could go to Pinterest too. Those are really powerful. Thank you.
I love that. I had a son with delayed speech forever too, Ashley. So I
Okay.
know what that's like. And when you go through and you do all the things you're supposed to be doing, all the therapies and all the things, and there's light at the end of the tunnel. I will tell you that.
Thank you.
So anybody, I think Sandy had her hand up. Yes, Sandy.
Yeah, actually, that was what I was going to ask. But then I thought, we hear about affirmation, affirmation, affirmation all the time. I kind of like renaming it mantra
Mm-hmm.
rather than affirmation. So thank you so much. To have you only have been in the company 5 years and to achieve what you've achieved so far is, amazing. So congratulations and thank you for training today.
No, thank you so much, Sandy. Thank you.
Yes, what a legacy you're gonna live and lead with so many women. That's amazing. And one thing that I heard too, Sandy, off that when you say mantra, someone said, do you brand yourself? And I was like, she mean brand myself? Like, she said, when people think of you, what do they think of? And I had to really step back and think about that. Like when someone, and you could message, your top 20 people in your life. It doesn't have to be Mary Kay, but when you think of me, what do you think of? Because that's the brand, that's the label that people are going to remember about you. So sometimes it is our affirmation, our mantra that carries us to brand ourselves to why does someone want to do something with us versus somebody else? It's no different than anything in the world, right? And I always tell them it's because you want to be an energy giver, not an energy taker, right?
Yeah.
We want to love them. So absolutely. Well, this was phenomenal. I think exactly what we need before the holiday and to rev us up the next couple days. Christmas is 2 days for crying out loud. And
Yes.
everyone will be back to work on Monday, right? And so we can take this and prep and then run it should be the busiest week of our year between Christmas and New Year's. So thank you again, Ashley. You're amazing. I completely understand why you are where you are in such a short time. And just thank you for your give heart and giving to this company and so many women. You're deeply appreciated. Mary Kay Ash would be so proud that you're leading her legacy on. So I hope you all have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever you celebrate. And thank you for joining today, ladies. Have an amazing Thursday.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.